Today, I have the pleasure of having Marla Maples on my podcast today. It's such an incredible honor to have you here. And today we're going to talk about faith over fear, especially what's going on in the world today. And I know you've been in Kabbalah for 20 years.
20 plus.
And I said, you're the perfect person to give people a fresh outlook. We have a lot of mutual friends. And I want to see what Kabbalah did for you. And I'd like to have a conversation on how we can strengthen, especially from a woman's voice. And especially where you've gone through in your life and how you're in this elated state consciously.
Thank you.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. I've listened to you for a couple of years now.
Wow.
And I've just really, I can relate so much to you. Being a Scorpio,
Right.
when you're going through a hard time, I'm like, yes, me too. and because of my background of it's actually been about 27 years of studying Kabbalah.
Wow.
I understand a lot, also some of the Hebrew and Aramaic meanings and words that you share, so it's easy for me to tap into how you're sharing. And I've also worked with Joe Dispenza.
Wow.
And so a lot of the teachers that you bring into your awakening of your own soul are those that have helped me throughout the years. So I knew there'd be a beautiful gathering of the soul here.
Amazing. Tell me a little bit about your how you got into it and your morning rituals.
Yeah. Well, I grew up a Southern Baptist in a small town of Georgia, 500 people, and my father was a singer. He had a band. He sang opera. He was amazing. He could have toured and done anything, but he didn't want to leave me. So we ended up staying back in our small town and becoming the deacon in the church and the choir director. So I was raised in a very strict Southern Baptist world. But as I grew older, I started wanting to know more and understand more, and I wanted to find out how other people connect to God, not just what I saw in my own world in this small little town in Georgia. And so that took me on a journey of looking into everything I could find, really. And it just made sense when someone mentioned to me Kabbalah a few years later. They said, knowing you would really love this very secret practice. I have friends in London that are studying it, but you can't really study it unless you're like over 40 and you're a man. But I believe it's becoming more known now, and it stuck with me. And this was before I married President Trump. So I kept the thought in my mind all those years. And then during my separation, I would go to LA for work, and I would look up on Robertson Boulevard, and I would see the sign, "What is Kabbalah? What is Kabbalah?" on the Kabbalah Center on Robertson. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what my friend Jan was telling me about years and years ago. I want to know more. As it would happen, I go to dinner with a friend who says, have you ever studied Kabbalah? I'm like, I want to study Kabbalah.
He goes, you must have attracted it,
I'm attracting it. Now everyone is coming because you have that desire. Exactly. You know what happens. It starts showing up. You just have to be able to listen. So he says, I have this teacher that's so good. You need to meet him. His name is Eitan. And I said, really? He goes, yeah, we do a private class up in the Hollywood Hills. And you should come to that. And I said, no, I don't want special attention. I want to go down to the center, sit in the back, and just learn. And he says, trust me, take this number, call Eitan, call him first. And I said, are you sure? Because I want to do the work. I don't want to be like someone that has the teacher's number now. And he goes, call him, do it. And I did. It's one of the best phone calls I ever made, was reaching out to Eitan. So we would do I called it, it was spiritual psychology, so to speak, because I would invite all my friends over, no matter what their background was, religiously, socioeconomically. We would all gather. We would have these deep, deep conversations. And when he came to the door, he says, what's your sign? I said, Scorpio. He goes, you don't seem like a Scorpio. And he got out the book, the 150-year-old book, and he says, you are a Scorpio. But I worked a lot on myself.
The depth of the searching.
The depth of the searching is where I think
we
meet. Scorpios meet on that. And so many of my closest friends are Scorpios. We understand the depth of wanting to know more.
Correct.
Wanting to know the secrets.
Shallowness. We don't go for shallowness. You need much deeper. Right. That's how I got into Rabbi Nachman's teaching. Same concept.
He's wonderful. I love how you share Rabbi Nachman, And so I started privately for about a year, and then I think Purim was my first holiday in the Kabbalah Center. Can you imagine that?
Wow.
So
That's incredible.
I think Madonna was dancing on the table, and Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher. It was a whole bit of a scene that night. But the reality is, I found like a community of beautiful souls that are there digging deep to become better people, just willing to look at what it is within yourself that you need to change. You know, something, we all have that.
Right.
People can look at you or look at me and go, oh, they got it all together. We know we have places inside that we have to
1000%.
bring more light to, right? So that teaching helped me. I mean, even though, you know, loving Christ and being a student of Christ's teachings, I felt deeper connected to Christ through the study of Kabbalah. And to be able to pray in Hebrew and ancient Aramaic, I learned how to read classical Hebrew so I could be the pointer studying the Torah, not someone else pointing for me.
Amazing.
And
Amazing.
it's just been a beautiful journey. And the friendships have been
That you met.
forever. Yeah, forever friendships.
What would you say that like you know you obviously you went through a very pretty crazy divorce, and how you stayed calm in it and you stayed peaceful, which is so unlike a Scorpio. You know, Scorpio, they go for the kill, without faith and believing everything. They go for the kill.
Well, I can be very feisty.
Right,
Let's be honest.
I'm saying it's how you stayed so gracefully in that situation. It must have been you know studying spirituality and connecting to let you let go.
The spiritual depth is really the secret, I think, and not being so reactive. I'm not perfect, and I can, like I said, I can get very feisty, and I can, you know, I can be provoked, but I learned through, you know, being a Christian is one thing, but then take the study of Kabbalah and learning to take responsibility for everything that comes to you, and looking at it as a gift for your soul to learn and grow, then you're less likely to start reacting in the same way. So that was the way that it really helped me get through it. It wasn't easy, but I had my teacher was there alongside me during the time, a beautiful family, and I had a beautiful daughter. So, you know, the reality is, what are you going to do? You're going to be angry? Are you going to cause more pain and hurt? Or are you going to find a path through it? Now you have to work through the fear.
Yeah.
You have to work through the fear because you don't really know what's going to happen. But how do we ever know what's going to happen?
Exactly.
Right?
So how did you practically work through the fear?
Well, I would every day, I would start by studying Zohar. I would not even being able to read it, I would hold the books and I would just scan energetically and just pray as I did that. And there's a prayer called the Ana B'Koach.
Sure.
That's my favorite prayer.
Wow.
If I miss that in the morning, I can realize when I go back in time why the day didn't line up in the same way.
So you had mantras, you worked on, you did some
I
mantras,
definitely
brought some energy in.
Yes, absolutely, and of course, always bringing in that which was new to me at the time with the positive teachings from the New Testament, which I feel like is so much Kabbalah. Anyway, so just for me being able to see where we're alike is so exciting to me, because I want to find where we are alike in our beliefs. Politically, wouldn't that be nice? And spiritually,
Sure.
religion-wise, where do we have that ongoing golden thread that holds us all together?
Yeah, I mean, religion without faith, whether Christian, Jewish, it's worthless.
I
At the end
know.
of the day, if you
I
have
know.
religion without faith, and I think that's the majority of the wars today. But without faith allows you to let go. Faith allows you to think. Faith allows there's a greater reason that's happening. Right. So we treat better the way we feel about ourselves. So I mean, it's the whole world needs faith. The whole world, whether are you getting it through Christianity or Judaism. Faith is non-negotiable today.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you're going to go crazy today with the details.
And I think on your heart and my heart too is like, how do we help the people that don't have God and don't have faith?
Right.
I mean, this is the most crushing thing right now when you see what happened to our dear Charlie Kirk and so many others. But that has been magnified in a way for the world to see and mourn, and yet there are people that celebrate it. So there's something going on in our society that is so dark. So, Gedale, how can we help?
Sometimes the darkest souls have the biggest light. If they only understood it. I tell this to my clients in my treatment center, that if you just redirected your light, for instead of craving toxicity, you start craving infinity, your whole life would change. So all of these people, like just the same thing as a person who's very jealous, that they have so much light for for motivation, but it's just blocked. So if they understood where it's coming from, then they could heal. But the problem is, it's easier to point fingers.
I know.
It's easier not to see the big picture. So a lot of it, all of this stuff is, our sages tell us that the greatest darkness, the biggest light is in the darkest places in life.
Exactly, and
That's
that's
where the sparks are lifted.
right,
You know?
right, and that's
It's
where
a
I
cool
feel like
process.
this is the turning point that we need to help awaken more people, and more people are looking deeper at faith and family through what they've learned about Charlie. Right, through
It's
this
incredible.
horrible tragedy, and seeing Erica's faith and seeing her be strong in the face of such complete pain.
Yeah.
And when you saw them together, it's like they were just so joy-filled together. They were just the complete union, right, that we all pray for. And so now to do that, holding on to that spirit and the teachings for her to step forward is going to be really beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful to
even
watch.
following the Bible of the male being in their masculine energy, women being in their feminine energy, you could see that today. That's completely backwards today,
I know.
and how much it's affecting relationships, and it's everybody's frustrated. It's not like nobody's winning, and that's why we need that. We need spirituality. We need God, because it puts us in the right role.
Right,
in
right.
life.
I tell that to a lot of the younger girls, and it's just like, how are you going to lift your man, right? How can you be that seed that helps lift him to be all that it can be that spark to help him be his whole self, right? And a lot of young girls are, oh, this guy did this, and I don't like that, and then
Right.
picking on men and tearing them down. And I want, and I'd like to see a society of young girls realize that they can hold their own. They can stand and be the strong, independent soul. But how beautiful to be with a partner that also has that
Sure.
ability. And then to come together, I mean, that's what I'm waiting for at the right time.
I think it will definitely come to you.
Yeah, I believe that. And
Yeah.
I don't want to settle.
Yeah.
I've never wanted to settle for less. I'd rather be alone than settle for something that's not
Yeah.
like 2
100%.
strong pillars. Yeah.
100%.
Doing
It's just I guess a part of spirit. Even if in schools, if they were teaching faith, it would allow these kids to process things, and it would allow these kids to. But let's say a kid's he grows up in a nice household. He's enabled. Next thing you know, one trauma, it's over.
I know.
They're not equipped to handle these
I
things.
know. It's how do we
So I
help
think
our
it begins
kids?
with the education, and the education is it's very difficult to hear. The blind leading the blind.
Right.
And the teachers are.
Right.
It's a scary concept today.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
indoctrination on top of it.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. So I see a lot of the homeschooled kids are doing much better.
My kids are homeschooled.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
My wife, she chose to be
Good
homeschooled.
for her. Yeah, good for her.
It's we arrange what we teach them, and for us right now it works out because they're so close together. But some people it's not an option.
Exactly. And so we have to, I mean, I know a lot of communities have been building schools to help bring everyone together, and the same sort of positive consciousness where they can tap into the meditation, the arts, the positivity they can see in each other, how to use your voice and your words for good.
Exactly.
And that's what I pray for our kids.
So what do you think the key to your biggest thing is letting go? I know it's a Scorpio for me is letting go.
Surrender. I love
That's
the
the name
idea
of my
of
book.
surrender.
It's going to be called Surrender.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's
that's
really
all
good.
you need really in life.
There
Surrender.
you go. Surrender.
That's
That's
it.
perfect. And that's what I want to say. That's what I learned a few years ago. But it's an ongoing process.
Yeah.
Every day, if you're doing it right, every day there's going to be another opportunity to put it to practice. Right.
David Hawkins really helped me understand what happens when we don't surrender on a conscious level, how we get stuck in these negative personalities, these negative, we view life through the lens of anger, we view life through the lens of pride, and it's based on not surrendering. In
Right.
Hebrew, it's called bittul.
Sure.
Bittul means to basically completely remove your ego and just submit. It's just like a seed. If a seed wants to grow, it has to go into the ground and completely has to lose the self.
Right.
Once you lose yourself, then the tree can grow.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah,
It's beautiful. It's such a striving for all of us to do, and even knowing it. So that surrender has helped me And with everything that I do, even in sports, because I never really felt I was of this earth, right? But I'm here for a purpose, but the sports always help ground me.
Yeah.
But then you get, Scorpio, you got to win, you got to win, you got to win. and learning to surrender to, like, maybe I'm not going to play my best this day. And as soon as you surrender, then game turns around, right?
I think for me, just being a Scorpio, I pray for more alignment than more ambitious. Because sometimes we could be very ambitious, but it's coming from the ego.
Oh, yeah.
It can come from a place of forcing it, not letting it happen. Not using power instead of using force.
Right.
So as a Scorpio, I like to say, God, how can I align in this mission? And want what you want, instead of sometimes, even through spirituality, sometimes we want to play God and we want to control the outcome. We want to pray, but we want to control the outcome of the prayer, And that's where sometimes if you don't have the right alignment, you have to recalibrate. That's teshuva.
Right.
Teshuva, what we
Right.
call returning, is recalibrating to being more aligned than to be more aggressively force something before it's time.
Yeah, power over force.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big lesson to remind ourselves always, like,
Sure.
when you're in the middle of it. When you're in the middle of it, you just have that little reminder that this is the time to put it into practice. So I urge all of you listening, pay attention to those moments. Don't be mad at those moments.
Right.
Right? Just pay attention to them.
And the reason
be
why we get
equipped.
these moments is to repair them, obviously. Yeah. They keep on coming back because they're calling for
Or they're getting
rectification.
if they're getting on a cycle. That's the problem, when they get cyclical, and you're just like, you gotta find a way to break it, or you're stuck in this pattern your whole life. Just like with dating the wrong people,
Correct.
or what you're drawing to you, friendships, whatever it might be.
One of my struggles was really, really dismissing the messenger in my life, because it's very hard to let go unless you dismiss the messenger,
Yeah.
Did you deal with something very similar where you were just, the messenger was like binding you to that, believing it's for the best?
Yeah, I just think, I think about the painful messengers in life, right? Well, mine happened in my early 20s with the media, for one.
How did you deal with that?
I didn't deal as well as I would have today. I literally found myself crying, for 24 hours until I couldn't hardly see my eyes, just because it was so painful, and canceling bookings, I was a young actress in New York City at the time, and I would be canceling appointments. I didn't know how to step forward. I got stuck in it. It hurt. It hurt so much to feel so misunderstood and so judged. But what a great lesson to learn, and then see where I was judging other people.
Wow. Where did you see that you were judging other people?
Just in many ways, just like with men and women. With men that would cheat on their wives, or women that would cheat on their husbands. I just thought it was awful. And then I get in a situation with a man who actually is in the process of getting out of a relationship, in a marriage, but wasn't, right? So there I was in a situation where I had just seen another couple. And I was like, how can she be in love with this man? He's in love with someone else. Wow. So it was
God
just
loves
the
you.
mirror came right back, but it didn't make it any easier. And it was magnified in such a strong way. So that was just like continually coming until I had to, how many tears can you cry, right? Until you have to take responsibility and say, I did not intend to bring any harm or hurt to another human being, and just then you just ask forgiveness for whatever place I might have brought this pain in. But then knowing that God has put me on this earth for such a divine purpose, and it's not to sit and cry, it's to get out there and make a difference and have an impact.
I love that. It's not to sit and cry. It's not what happens. It's not the power of now. It's the power of now what.
Now what? I love that. I love that, Cartoli.
Yeah, now what? He says power of now.
He says now. I like your version.
I say now what?
Now what?
Because in life, we're always going to get hit with darkness. So even, yes, we are in dark, but our Creator really is interested not in the fall. He's interested, what are you going to do with it? What are we going to do with Charlie Kirk's assassination today? How are we going to change the world from this?
Right. And let's get it quick. I think we need to get these lessons really fast, because the world is sped up to such a level and the frequency is rising so high. So it's up to us to just jump on. And I caught a lot of my friends. I'm sure we've all been connecting in such a beautiful way since this horrible tragedy, and just saying, guys, we have to always stay together. We cannot let them lower our vibration.
Yeah.
We have to keep our vibration higher, and we've got to stay united, and knowing that we came here for a purpose to lift each other up. And if we stay connected, and we, I've watched my circle just grow and expand, and now I'm friends with you, and I'll meet your wife, so now it continues to expand.
Sure.
And I think as we do that, then there's just a light that's
That's
going
the
to take over
tikkun.
this planet.
That's the tikkun. That's how you fight. We don't fight evil by understanding. We fight it by coming back much stronger.
Coming back much stronger.
Yeah. It's every situation in life has pretty much been that.
Yeah.
Even like before the Baal Shem Tov, which is like the light of Chassidut in the world, there was a false Messiah, which was Shabbatai Tzvi. So imagine they thought this guy was a Mashiach and he was like the savior, and the guy ended up becoming a fraud.
Wow. Yeah.
And then right after that, the Baal Shem Tov came, which was the head of every Chabad, Kabbalah. I mean,
exactly.
They brought that new light to us today.
Exactly.
So this is something in life that when your whole world is torn down, something new is beginning to be built.
Right. Tell me about where you're going in a couple of days.
I'm going to Rosh Hashanah. I'm going to Uman.
Tell me about Uman.
Sure. First, I'm going to Hungary. I'll tell you what happened last year. I was supposed to go directly to Moldova, and all of a sudden, my assistant he booked it on the wrong day. So I'm like, here I'm in the middle of my MIA. I'm like, I can't go home now. What am I going to go home? So my friend said, come to Hungary with me. So we go to Hungary first, and we go see this. It's a place called Rabbi Karastir, and he was known to feed poor people. It's a soup kitchen, but on steroids.
Really?
So there's a lot of people that went there with terminal cancers. They gave charity there. They got healed. It's just a place of feeding poor people. So it's a place of tremendous amount of grace and just kindness and mercy. So praying at that place, we don't pray to that. We pray to God, but we pray in that space of energy. Sure. Connecting to the tzaddik, which represents.
Of course.
So I go there now. That becomes a pit stop.
Right.
And then I go to Mezhebush, which is the Baal Shem Tov.
Yes, that's right. That's
and
what
Rabbi
reminded
Natan,
me.
exactly.
Yes.
And then I'll go to Uman itself to see Rabbi Nachman's.
Right.
And usually now it's 50, 60,000 people go there every year.
How beautiful.
Whether there's a war, whether there's not a war. I've been going there for 23 years.
Right.
So I go. It's a place where there's no ego. We sleep on bunk beds. There's no Amman resorts. There's no fortune. You drop the ego at the door. Beautiful. It's a place of unity. It's a place where you see 40, 50,000 people. How is this possible? 40, 50,000 people praying in the same place. And we're there to show how great God is. Right. And this is what the purpose of those trips are. So I come back as a new person.
Of course.
Right before those trips, I end up with my battery's empty.
Yeah.
And then I go there, I just come back. I literally get new consciousness.
Right. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So
it's a
really,
time. It's a
changed
good
my
time
life
to
with
charge our
teachings.
batteries.
Correct.
But it's happening through your sharing and your humility, I'm sure. And
It takes a lot of work.
Right.
A lot of darkness, a lot of pushing through,
Right.
And but that's why I go there to connect to something much greater than me.
Right. I've spent a lot of time in Israel, of course, and going to the Sadiqim all over Israel and even into, some of the areas in Palestine when we could.
Sure.
Right? I've never been to the Baal Shem Tov, though. I'd love to do that. But it's so beautiful to walk in that space. And I, coming down from Sfat, and I remember.
It's very special.
Yeah, it's so special. I spent a lot of time there, but I love being in. I call it the Sea of Galilee. You call it the Tenera.
Right, Tiberias.
Right. But in Tiberias, but in the sea.
Shimon Bar Yochai, you mean?
Yeah, yes. So, but as I was coming down, I said, I called my dad. I was on the phone with my dad. I said, "Oh my gosh, Dad," because I come from the Christian background. I said, I feel Jesus around me, and I looked up and went, "Oh, this is where he gave the Sermon on the Mount. Wow. We're going down to the Galilee and Tiberias." And I said, I just was feeling that. He goes, "Wherever the holy ones have walked, their energy is still there."
Right.
And I think that's why we can go, and we go to these places like where you will be going for the holidays, and where I've gone many times in Sfat and down to.
That's crazy how you've gone to Sfat and everything. Something's in the air in Sfat. It's an incredible. It's funny. I went to Sfat 2 years ago, and that's the first time I really understood the Baal Sulam's teachings. which
The-
which has completely changed my perspective on things.
Yeah, so I know the Ari.
Right.
I go to the Ari. We've done a lot of Shabbats at the Ari.
Wow.
And so that is very. The other rabbi, what's his name?
So there's the Ari. He's
Yes,
buried
of
there.
course.
Moshe Cordovero, the
Moshe
Ramak,
Cordovero,
which is the
yes.
Tomer Devorah, which is a book on emulating God.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I've
that's
been-
the ultimate book on letting go, and letting go through forgiveness. Which that book itself, especially for a Scorpio. The Tomer Devorah it's a book on every single chance that somebody hurts you. It's a chance for you to emulate God by using forgiveness.
Oh,
And when you forgive them, there's a mercy that opens up for you.
so
So
beautiful.
really, mercy is really in front of us all day long.
It is.
It's not something where you have to. It's in front of you. It's just you have to overcome the ego.
You know, I love when I first started studying and I learned about, what Yom Kippur was. I mean, I knew nothing. When I tell you I grew up in a mountain
But it's
town.
crazy how you continued. You really stayed with it. I mean, 20
Yeah.
years, 25
Well,
years.
it
That's incredible.
works.
Yeah.
It works. And my friendships there, I mean, we're not saying everyone's perfect. It's, when you gather a group like this,
Yeah.
anything can happen. But God willing, you just want everyone that comes should want to really transform and become more like the light, right?
Yeah.
And so on that journey, gosh, I've learned a lot. And before Yom Kippur, I just love this because my Christian friends didn't know the power of asking forgiveness, right? Please forgive me for anything I've done in this lifetime or
Right.
another lifetime to hurt you. And you really dig deep and you search, like, who could I share this with? Who is it that I don't feel like I've ever hurt, but they've hurt me, right? And be able to speak those words to someone that you feel has betrayed you, but yet I'm saying, please forgive me, transforms everything.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean-
it's like it's because it could have been in a previous lifetime you heard that. You understand?
Exactly.
Yeah. So this is what Kabbalah teaches. There's a lot more happening. You're not coming back. You're coming back already 2-3 times.
Right,
So
right.
it could have been that you did the same thing to the other person, and you're
Right.
coming to be faced in the same situation.
Exactly.
This is why it's so important to thank God for everything, because at the end of the day, you don't know if it's in this lifetime or previous lifetime
Right.
that this happened,
Right, and
or a
'cause-
soul correction, or a karma mate, or etc.
The soul is eternal. So,
Yeah.
there's a lot of transformation that we have to go through, right?
Right.
So that journey is so important to always, not jump. I have a pastor that says, turn your obstacles into arrows, right? What you think might be an obstacle, you go forward with it, right?
Right.
And you turn it into the positive, and you take those opportunities that might have felt like, oh my God, and you go, why did I? Maybe a past life I could have. So it's here for me now. Let's turn it into something positive.
How long does it take you practically to get into? And I know for me, sometimes, I'll have a tough day, and I'll have to wake up in the morning, and then I reprocess it. Are you able to do it right away, or do you need that maybe a workout, maybe a cold plunge, maybe a
Yeah, I need a cold plunge.
maybe just
I wish I had a cold plunge in my house. That would help. I hear you talking about with the
it's
cold plunge.
honestly it's better for the body.
Yeah,
It's-
I go to the ocean. I'm near
yeah.
the ocean, so I literally
Same concept,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I'll go there.
New energies.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just remove, because we are like these. We're souls in these physical bodies, so we have to be able to keep purifying
Yeah,
our body and
yeah.
turn over our cells. And I just had the pleasure, honestly, I'm saying it, of doing pretty much 5 full day fasting and
Wow.
most of the 6th day. And when I
Water
started
fast?
it, I did 1 day of water fast, but I did the prolonged fast. So it's the fast mimicking diet. I don't know if you know Dr. Walter Longo, but he created this to help people that had cancer.
Yeah, sure. I
Right?
heard of her.
So it's very organized to where your body is still in the state of fasting, but you have little things that you can have throughout the day
Wow.
to keep going. But it's still, what happened? I started on Monday, and then look what happened. And by midweek, right, we have this horrible tragedy, and it was like, wow, I don't have any comfort food. I can't have a comfort mezcal or a comfort beer or a comfort bowl of popcorn. Instead, what I did is just went in deeper to God. And I just thought it was such a gift, because often we fast when we just want to connect to God. This time, I was like, I'm going to fast because, first of all, I haven't gone to the fresh market, or I want oral organic food. I don't have time. and I want to help my cells it's more of a cellular fast, and helps with the metabolism also.
Sure.
But it became so much more to me. it became such an opportunity, as we do on some of the high holidays, but to really go deeper into connecting to God's presence. It was just a gift. I didn't even really want to eat because I just felt so connected. So now I know you do a lot of fasting, so now I'm trying to figure out what the next step is. I don't want to be dependent on food.
Right. That's a whole different world.
I want to nourish my body how it needs to be nourished to continue, but never to be dependent on what am I taking in.
Because it's all emotional. It's a lot of it's emotional eating today.
Right.
A lot of it's emotional eating. In Rav Nachman speaks about the concept of fasting is what happens, for example, when you fast, you're getting energy from 2, 3, 4 days ago. So he says fasting is very good for fixing things that happened in a couple days, like weeks ago, months ago, because you're getting energy from
right.
From
What's still within you, right?
Correct. What's stored in you. So this is why if you look at through any time there's been a calamity or some kind of crisis, they say fast because we're trying to fix the past.
Right.
So you can actually fix the past through fasting.
By going through
the spiritual.
fast.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So, okay. Now, have you done the water fast?
I have not done. I would love to do it one day.
Yeah.
I would love to do it
So
one day.
I did one day, and I felt great. Again, super, super energized.
I mean, I do the fastings
For the
without
holidays.
Yeah, for the whatever I have to do.
Yeah, but then we don't drink water.
Right, yeah, there's no water there.
There's no water.
water.
Like, what?
No.
There's no water.
In Florida,
People think we're nuts. But
it's crazy.
Yeah, but I do think that I've had friends that have done it, and they just start radiating.
Yeah.
Like there's a radiant light about them. So
Yeah, wow.
it's really beautiful.
I mean, any time that we're able to go against our nature, there's light. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So what time do you wake up? What's your morning schedule?
Sunrise, really. Yeah,
Wow.
sometimes just
You're on a
before.
heavy duty. How come you're not teaching a podcast? How come?
I had a podcast for years in California. I had a podcast before it was a podcast, and we called it a radio show.
Right.
And then it converted into podcast.
But you really, I mean, people need to tone it to, some people will listen to me, but
Yes.
I mean, as far as, women but this is, you're in heavy duty, prime time energy.
It's time. Yeah, it's time. I think I just have to put myself in one place long enough, and I'm in that spot where I like, okay, God, where do I need to go today? I work a lot with my foundation, Marla Maples Foundation, Global Wellness Foundation, and like today, a lot of our team went to D.C. Because there's a lot of bills coming through that we really need to have people there to support to getting
Right.
America healthy, and
Yes.
but I felt in my soul better to do this today and go see my grandson, and let everyone else handle that. I don't have to be at everything, right?
Yeah.
And
Trying
trust
to do
it.
too much sometimes.
Yeah, it's one thing if I'm an actor. If I booked a movie and I've committed to a part, then you show up and do it. But in between, it's like, God, I say every day, where do you want me today? Who
love
can
that.
I help?
Alignment.
Just put me in the alignment and give me your words.
Do you get compassion fatigue sometimes? You get burnt out sometimes?
Yeah, getting it. Yeah, I have, because I take on too many things.
Yeah.
I'm not good at. I am really good at saying no.
That's the key, really.
That's the key. That's been one of my biggest challenges in life.
You gotta say no.
Is somebody like I'm too accessible by phone, and that phone way over there has taken too much of my energy.
1,000%. I've
So
even
it's my
changed my
social
number.
media.
I've changed. Yeah, it's just it's a lot of drain, a lot of energy.
I have a Shabbat phone because if my daughter or someone really close to me needs me on Shabbat, but it's like I'm not on the phone. I'm not
I
working
think
on
you
Shabbat.
can sell Shabbat phones to other Jewish people.
That's what I should do, guys.
I think you could be the Shabbat phone. You could do a joint venture with AT&T maybe.
Exactly. Let's do a Shabbat.
Oh my God, that's so
So
funny.
that's really funny because I'm not Jewish, so I'm not Orthodox. I don't have
Right.
to. I can choose to.
You have some kind of spark somewhere. There's something there. I mean, there's no way you would get to be able to do these 28 years.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, you're almost on my schedule.
Yeah.
And I have a pretty ridiculous schedule.
I feel it. I mean, when I go to Israel, I just feel it. I've been here before. I've walked it. I feel it. I go into this waters and I just feel embraced. We do mikvahs all over, and I just it ignites something really powerful in my soul. And I wish for every Christian that they had the opportunity to really experience it. And I feel like I've had this opportunity to learn more about how Christ walked right? And what he did and how he, and yes, we know how he treated people. We know his beautiful words and the love and the miracles, but but he did wake up and say Modayani Lefeneka, right? He did wash his hands and do the prayers, right? And he did light the candles each Shabbat. So I love that. That just ignites something so beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, anything I say, anything to get people to faith.
Yeah.
People have to go back to basics. They have to go back to basics.
Right.
This world is too crazy.
Right.
It's just there's too much craziness. There's too much.
But it's beautiful to have something you can count on. Like we started something at the Kabbalah Center years ago called Spirituality for Kids. And we did studies. Well, there's a study that came out at Dartmouth that showed the kids less likely to commit suicide were the Orthodox Jewish kids.
Wow.
Well, think about it. Friday night, what do you do?
Right, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're all together. You're having family. You're having community. You don't have any TV. You don't have the outside influences on you. So that is so important. And that's something that I try to teach to my friends that aren't Jewish. It's like, oh, my gosh, could you do just your family dinner on Friday nights? Put everything aside. Right?
It's incredible.
Isn't it beautiful?
I think you can bring more Jews back than other rabbis could sometimes. People just need a fresh voice sometimes. They need a different perspective. Sometimes there's a lot of trauma between you and me. There's a lot of trauma people have had with certain rabbis, certain religious experiences. They were forced into it. So a lot of that is undoing a lot of that trauma.
You've seen that.
It's That's why most people are not connected. They're either they don't know it, but the ones that went off, they just had a very bad experience.
Yeah.
With listen, they just had a bad experience.
Well, how about people that you meet that say they're atheists? Do you take them to that little walk?
I'll tell you, it's funny. Rav Kook. I don't know if you're familiar with Rav Kook's
yes.
teaching. So he was the only one that was really that was able to blend the spiritual, the religious and the non-religious.
Right.
So he says sometimes it's better to be an atheist than to have that you think God is punishing you.
Oh.
So sometimes you need to clear the whole slate and change your opinion of your Creator, and then you'll come back stronger. So even in every craziness, there's actually an elevation.
Right.
Because some people have a very, very dysfunctional view of God.
Right.
And they think their creator's out to punish them. They've been forced into something.
Of course.
And you've seen a lot of people have a lot of trauma.
I know a lot of Catholic
Like
friends.
in my treatment center, I can't use the word God. I have to use higher power. Because if I mention God, God, my father was religious and he, God forbid, he raped me. You understand? So they can't associate anything to do with God or religion. It doesn't go. You have to use higher power and you have to use your Creator.
Right.
The words you have to use, you have to tippy-toe. Tippy-toe. Because they hear God, all of a sudden you see the faces.
Yeah.
Because again, everybody has their own view of God and based on religion.
And because this friend of mine has a brilliant mind, and he grew up in Ireland in a Catholic school that was just he was so busy trying to disprove God because they weren't so kind to him, right? And what he experienced. And I said, "Are you sure you're an atheist? Let's just talk about this." So I said, "What does God mean?" And we started talking about energy. And once I started talking about energy, he's like, "Oh," he goes, "You're going to go on my phone as a God particle." And I'm like, "Well, but we all are."
Energy's everything. Energy's everything.
Yeah, but we all are. So call it what you wish. It's like that's divine sparks of light that we want to ignite.
And we have an animal soul, we have a godly soul, and the animal soul is the reactive soul, and that's taking away all of our energy. So the practicality is we have an evil inclination. One of the things Rabbi Nachman, there's a famous lesson, he has lesson 49, and he says we're born with two yuds. That means if you look at when God created in Genesis, when God created the man, he created man with two yuds, where he created animals with one yud. So what does the two yud represents? We have a good positive inclination and negative inclination. Anytime you're positive, it's your soul. Anytime you're negative, it's your ego.
Right.
So that's it. It's either your ego running the show or your soul running the show.
Right.
And then that's our job, is to be able to to choose the difference
and surrender to it.
Surrender to everything. What do you have in the future?
What do I have in the future? What do we know?
Wellness.
The divine wellness. Yes, that is
marriage.
An ongoing thing. Marriage, dating, which could lead to marriage.
How's dating been for you?
I haven't really taken the time except for the last 6 months or so.
Right.
Yeah, it was about the time I was going to become a grandma. I'm like, what? Now I'm going to date? Yeah, it I always ask to find the souls that are also equally yoked. You understand that, right? Being equally yoked in the Bible, so you're going in the same direction.
Right.
So
Not in the same page, but in the same book.
in the same book, right?
Right.
Right.
So we're all going to be on different pages.
Exactly, we are. But as long as we know where we're going, and then we have that positive light that we want to move forward to. But with the foundations, it's all about finding solutions for people. Finding, we're going through a big mess with what has been done in our country for so many years since the 40s, and the spraying that they're doing in the air onto our land and all of this. So this week is a lot of legislation on that, supporting Bobby Kennedy Jr. and what he's trying to do.
Incredible what he's doing.
Yeah, supporting him as a secretary, because there's so much money on the Hill right now. They're multi-millions of dollars going to do anything to get him out of that position, because it's money at stake, and we're not doing it for money. This is hard. This is because you care.
America does not make money on healthy relationships or on healthy people. That's the bottom line. Those two things, there's no money.
How do we redefine it? I just want to redefine America and redefine United States in a way that is literally supporting your neighbor. Yeah. And first we got to love ourselves, and then we got to love our neighbors ourselves, right?
It's incredible. We I was in Europe, many places in the summer. We eating everything, no problem. Even the candy, if you eat candy, my kids, we took some Italian candies. You eat the candy, you don't feel like having another one. One's enough. Here, you eat one candy, I need 10 more. I need 20 more. Because they hijack your brain. And over there, you eat your candy, that's it. Yeah. It's nothing crazy.
Step by step, we will get there, because we are all committed, and we have a team in place that is committed. So
that's a major war.
Right. It is.
And what's funny? War. Just what. We're commanded in the Bible that you're not allowed to cross-examine seeds. You're not allowed to mix seeds in the Bible.
Right.
So if you think technically, all this GMO stuff it should not be kosher.
No,
because and the reason why it's because what we're saying is God, you don't have enough food for the world. Mm-hmm. We're gonna go. Man needs to go take charge.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you look at most people, they're not dying from famine. They're dying from over obesity. So you can see that something is off here.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to get involved in God's business, which is food.
Well, yeah.
When we come in and we destroy our guts, we destroy everything.
Modifying it and creating fake food, fake meat, there's a lot of things that are really hurting our gut, and our brain are so connected, as you know.
Yeah, 90%.
And it's so genetically modified foods, that is a big issue to really look for and be very careful. And you're right, we need to tell the rabbis not to prove that.
It shouldn't be, honestly. Think about it. How is a genetically modified thing? It's against the Bible. The Bible tells you you're not allowed to cross two seeds. So how are you saying this is kosher?
There you go. Okay.
You get it? Like how does it make sense?
Somebody take hold of that.
Even cruelty to animals. Think about this. You're not allowed to be cruel to animals. We're very careful to cut it in a specific place. But what do? You're taking a 1 pound chicken. You're injecting hormones. It's a 5 pound chicken. How's that not cruelty to animals?
Right.
So it doesn't really make sense.
I never thought of
These
that.
things don't make sense.
Kosher.
But I'll keep my mouth shut.
That's okay.
But it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense how, these are obvious things. Like you should not be allowed to take a chicken and make it 6 pounds when it's 1 pound and jump it with steroids.
Why? Push.
It's cruelty to
I've
animals.
said that forever. Yeah, I've said that forever. Why are you eating a cattle if you've injected it with so many growth hormones that it's drinking the milk? That's the same thing.
But I'm saying if the commandment is you can't have cruelty to animals, then how are you allowed to do that?
How are you injecting them with something that's not natural to their being? Yeah.
Correct.
Good. I'm with you on that one. All right.
It was such a pleasure to have you here. I hope to be in contact more. And you're a great fresh voice. And for people who are interested in going back to their faith through the energy of Kabbalah or through their own religion, do it.
Yeah.
It's the only way to stay sane in an insane world.
Yeah, do
Thank
it.
you
Please
again.
Do.
How could people reach you? Do you have any?
Well, I'm on it's Marla Maples on the socials.
On socials.
And marlamaples.com. You can learn more about the two foundations that I'm working with, and we also give a lot of wellness tips and brands that I believe in. I can never endorse something that I wouldn't use and take myself. But more than anything, helping people find solutions for what they're going through in their lives, mind, body, and spirit.
Amazing. Thank you again for coming.
Thank you.